Super Bowls. So his talent is an A+, but in terms of the franchise would be Titanic without him, no, they just wouldn't be special. And everybody looked at that and went, I'm literally canceling you. And I thought, is that an outrageous opinion?
Yes, it's an outrageous opinion.
Okay.
And also, I really like what you did there, which is one of my favorite moves at the very beginning, which is I'm being attacked for this opinion, not because it's a terrible one, but because people don't understand how brilliant it is. I go to that move a lot. It's not always correct. Sometimes it's I'm being attacked for this opinion because the opinion's terrible.
Oh,
it's a bad opinion, Colin.
Nick Wright move.
Bad opinion.
I've been hearing it for 4 years.
I love you too.
All right, time out.
Oh my goodness.
We got a new segment. We're calling this Make the Call. So here's how it's going to go. I'll say words and then you say words. We start with Russell Wilson. No secret he's frustrated with the Seahawks. I mean, the guy's listed teams he'd be willing to accept a trade to. He's obviously frustrated. So, Brandon, make the call. Next season, Russell Wilson will be on the...
Ooh. Seattle Seahawks. Look, I'm tired of this. Come on, guys. Let's get it done. I was with you guys for damn near 10 months, and I saw the chemistry. I saw the magic. Pete, this is how we're going to do it. You take care of the defense, give Russ the offense, and you guys win together and you lose together. Let's not break this thing up. You doubled down on this kid in 2012 after you gave Matt Flynn a 3-year, $26 million deal. That was a bold move. He only had a couple of games in Green Bay when Aaron Rodgers went down, and he played phenomenal. So for you to do that said a lot about your character and what you believe. Now it's time for you to do that again. My dad used to tell me when I first got with Mishi, he used to say, son, go get your lady. Pete Carroll, go get your quarterback.
All right, that's great advice by your father. I'm glad you listened to him. I love that. The answer, of course, is Seattle. And Saints fans, folks, I understand there is this mystical, farcical Narnia world where Russell Wilson's on the Saints. Did you see what the Saints did last night? They restructured their kicker's contract, Will Lutz, to free up $1.7 million. That is the football equivalent of paying for your McDonald's with the change you found underneath the cushions in the car. They're out of money. They can't trade for Russ. They're going to get this figured out. Seattle, don't be stupid. Work it out. Or trade him to Dallas, because that would be fun. But I say Seattle.
Not trading to Dallas. He will be on Seattle this year, but here's the problem, Jenna. You ever had a fight with somebody when you sort of like set a trap and you just wait for them to walk in it? That's what Russell Wilson has
100%.
done, and Pete Carroll, unfortunately, is going to walk right into the trap. And the media after the game is like, oh, hey, Russ, J.J. Watt sacked you 3 times. And Russ going like, oh, Aaron Donald sacked you 5 times. Nick Bosa sacked you 6 times. And Russ like, well, I don't know. I did talk about wanting more protection in the offseason. I don't know. I tried to say it, and it's going to end up imploding. So, Brandon, I know you want to make this bond strong. I think it's going to get worse and worse and worse as Russ faces defense this year.
All right, let's keep the quarterback theme going. Another QB he wants out, Deshaun Watson, still waiting on the Texans to do something. They're not even taking calls at this point, we hear. So, Brandon, make the call. Next season, Deshaun Watson will be on the...
Blue 32. Blue 32. Omaha.
Oh, God, no.
Omaha. Let's go. Joe Namath, I see you. B. Marshall, Darrell Reeves, I see you. Omaha. Go. That's where we're going, Jets.
He's all in.
No.
Yeah. All in.
All right. He's not going to the Jets.
Nick.
The answer, this is going to be the second take of the day I've stolen from Kevin Wildes by virtue of being able to go before him. The Dolphins. The Dolphins. Wildes has been saying this for a while. I've thought long and hard about it. Much like Wildes' Dame Time take, it's the correct take, and I'm going to co-opt it as my own. It's the Dolphins, Wildes.
Okay, thank you. I just give up the number 3 pick. Make it done. I also think Tua would be great on the Texans. He needs a fresh start. I know we were like, oh, Tua should get Marino's number. We should unretire it. And then 6 months later, like, you know what?
Yeah.
Why don't you pull him out of the game, put Fitzmagic in? You're like, well, it was just a one-time thing. Except next time we're going to need to win the game in the fourth quarter. Pull him out again. You know what? Pull him out of the whole franchise. Let him get a fresh start in Texas. Let him just fix it. Let him move forward with Deshaun. Deshaun's your franchise guy.
There it is.
Give him Marino's number.
There it is. Speaking of things Wiles likes, let's talk about the Patriots. Most of us think this New England team needs a new quarterback, but do they? Because Bill Belichick reportedly a big fan of the work that Cam Newton did in year 1 under center. Brandon, make the call. Next season, the Patriots quarterback will be
Cameron Newton. Look, Wiles, I heard you. You wanted me to ask Cam the tough question on the podcast. Hey, what happened to your arm? Why'd you throw that ball in the dirt? I'm going to be honest with you. After sitting down with this guy, he convinced me that there was other things that involved, like no offseason, no preseason, COVID, and all of that. So I think that Cam Newton is the guy to get this team back on track. Come on, Josh McDaniels, make the call.
I'd love to see it. I don't think we're going to see it, and if we do, I don't know if it'll just be him essentially being anointed the starting quarterback. I think Marcus Mariota is going to be on this football team, Wilds. It makes too much sense for all parties involved. The Raiders have to move off of him. The Patriots have the mid-round pick to trade. I think Marcus Mariota is the Patriots quarterback next year, and they see if they can rekindle some of the promise he showed in year 2, which, folks, look it up. Year 2, Marcus Mariota, very good. Now, it's not great that this is now year 7, and I'm talking about year 2, but year 2 Mariota was very good.
Okay. So I think it's going to be Jimmy G. There's too much smoke around the 49ers in the quarterback position. And to what Brandon says, Cam was awesome on the podcast, and he did talk about how we needed time to learn the playbook, and COVID hit, and he kind of went back a step. And Jimmy G wouldn't have that. Jimmy G's like, oh yeah, I've got my old playbook. Let me dust it off. But Brandon, one final thing, Jenna, real quick. I know that the podcast is like let's sit down and talk. And I said, Brandon, well, I could come in and ask the hard questions. And you're like, no, Wiles, we don't want to pay for the airfare, et cetera, et cetera. Here's what you do. You're like, Cam, so I understand that you look great, you're a vegan, don't listen to Ocho about eating McDonald's, and you took time, you needed more time for the playbook. And what you're saying is your arm is fine, right? And I'm like, well, you know, I could use a little bit of time. So you don't really have to throw him under the bus like I would come in and be like, what's up with this play? Look at this play on the iPad. But just a little bit, if you want to have him on again and you don't want to fly me out, just some free advice for the I Am Athlete podcast.
This is an interview that took place like 2 weeks ago. Wilds has now given Brandon 37 different ways he could have asked the question that he did not ask. This conversation is not going away anytime soon, I can guarantee you that. Let's move on to Cleveland. Talking OBJ now, head coach Kevin Stefanski said Odell's rehab from that ACL surgery is going great. It's going great. He's still under contract for 3 more seasons in Cleveland. But, Brandon, you make the call. Next season, Odell Beckham Jr. will be on the...
So, what did you say, Jenna? You said Coach Kevin Stefanski said his rehab is going great. Where's he rehabbing right now? Phoenix, Arizona. Yeah, he's going to be on the Cardinals. I know yesterday I talked about the Green Bay Packers, but Nick, I'm looking at this and I'm like, J.J. Watt just goes there. He's out there in Arizona, falling in love with the weather that J.J. Watt's talking about. You got Kyler, you got Big Dog D-Hop on the other side. Why wouldn't you get this done? So I am going to double down on the Arizona Cardinals. It makes sense.
Hold on, folks. Let me let that sink in for a moment. I had not even considered it. They've got Kyler on a rookie contract. Kingsbury's seat is a little hotter than he'd like to admit. They're going to have to go offense. That's a great take. It's a great take. He would be a perfect complement to D-Hop. It's a great take. I am going to stick with the Packers because I thought it was the Packers or the Chiefs. But I think the Chiefs are going to have to spin their draft capital on the offensive line.
Time out.
Yeah.
Time out. Let me really embrace. That's like your big brother telling you good job. Your big brother always punch on you, beat you up a little bit.
It's a great take.
Is that your second time ever telling me good job on the show?
No, you've had a lot of great takes. No, that's not fair. You've had a lot of great takes.
Okay.
But if I'm going to be honest, we can have Wild is giving you I am athlete coaching on the show. We can have more honesty moments on the show. It's not very often someone says something on the show.